Hello and welcome to Property Zone Live. Good to have you back again. And my name is Paul Goh, and please, if you're the first time here, please go and check out IQI Global page, like it, and then share this video out, and then we will have a very great session today. Now, today, the session is about property outlook in 2019. Okay, we have three very special guests today here. Sean, he's a team leader in A. Right. Sean is a speaker as well as a property investment strategist. Hi, Sean. And we also have Edwin. Edwin is a team leader in Elite Group. All right. Okay. If you're first time here, very special thing before we proceed is I have a free gift here. Okay. Those of you who still have still in the Chinese New Year mood and then never had enough of ang pao, all right? What I want you to do is take a guess of how much cash is inside here, and the lucky winner by end of this session, I will announce one lucky winner, and this will be for you, all right? So key in, take a guess, how much is it? It can be 1 ringgit, whatever amount, and this will be for you, okay? So what we want you to do, as well as in order to win this, you have to like our page, share this out, and comment the figures. 3 things you have to do, okay? Don't forget. All right, so moving on, we will speak about the property global property outlook in 2019, the special topics about how it affects the Malaysian, especially for you guys. All right, the video here today is actually meant for the viewers, all right, because property can be a very technical thing. So our aim here is also to help the viewers to understand the knowledge, to give them knowledge, all right, to share them the knowledge, because knowledge is power. Agreed?
Yes.
All right. So Shan, in regards to lately, there's been a lot of talks about MOT. Right? MOT this, MOT that. Some first-time home buyers, they are confused because I also do receive what is this MOT about? So what can you explain to us? What is MOT and how does it affect or how does it help the new purchasers or the second purchasers in the property search in 2019?
Thank you, Paul. Hi, everyone. Okay, MOT actually stands for Memorandum of Transfer, or it is called as stamp duty as well. And of course, it's very beneficial for first home buyer because it will reduce the burden and also the cost. MOT calculation goes like for the first 100,000 is 1%, then for the next 400,000 is 2%, and for the 500,000 to 1 million will be 3%. So this is beneficial for first home buyer and also those who want to invest because they can make use of this. Government have implemented this because they want to encourage more people to buy and invest in property and to reduce the overhang properties.
Okay.
And but you need to take note that not all projects are registered. MOT assumptions. Only registered properties which is under radar in a campaign called HOC, which is House Ownership Campaign. Yeah. So only certain properties which registered under this is MOT assumptions. So if you want to know more about this, you need to consult with your consultant, property consultant or developer staff.
So you're saying that whenever for the viewers or like for me, if I'm new in property, if I were to enter a showroom, a property gallery, if I'm a first-time buyer, does it mean that it's not, do they have MOT waiver or they do not have MOT waiver? Or I need to ask the developer
yes.
or the sales agent
correct
to check whether they are registered or not.
Yes.
Is that
yes,
correct?
Correct. And also, as an investor point of view, buyers should not only look at the MOT assumption. They need to look at these three key points if they want to invest in property. The first point is actually location. Second is developer, and the third is the concept and the value added to the property. So location, like amenities, the neighborhood, future development, so prime location. And the second thing, developer, is the developer's track record, past completed projects, and also concept is like the unique design and the value which is added to the property. So these three things, key points, is the ones going to determine the future ROI and also capital appreciation. So MOT assumption is added advantage for the investors, and the validity is, which is implemented by government, is only this year, 1st January until 30th June. So if you want to get this promo, you need to grab it fast.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, another scenario. For you guys out there, some of you may be a seasoned property investor, or can be, this would be your second property, yeah? So if I have a property before, and I've sold it, or to say that if I have a property now, I want to buy my second one, the third one, can I still get this MOT waiver?
Yes, definitely you can go for MOT waiver.
Yeah.
But like what I said just now, not all property is MOT assumption. Only those which is registered under radar is MOT assumption. So you still need to go back to your property consultant to check on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing, and when are we supposed to pay for this MOT? I mean, we can buy a property, let's say for example a project that takes about 3 years to complete. A lot of the viewers out there, I mean, sometimes I get questions like, when are we supposed to pay, you know? When are we supposed to prepare for the cash to pay for this stamp duty? So when do you think, I mean, is there a guideline of when the viewers supposed to receive, supposed to prepare the cash, or not sure whether they can take loan or not? So my question to you is, when do they need to prepare after they have purchased the property? And second thing is, whether can they finance this thing? Although there's property outside that has MOT waived, but sometimes if you were to happen to buy a property that has MOT that you have to pay, so maybe you can share with us, you know.
Okay, MOT only takes place if, let's say, example for property which is new projects. So they only have to pay MOT, which is stamp duty, after completion of the project. So let's say it takes 3 years. Once the developer hand over the key, and they collect key, then only they have to pay the MOT. And if let's say you're buying from owner, which is sub-sale or second-hand, right? So you have to pay on the, when the owner transfer the title to you, then you have to pay the MOT.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, for those of you that just joined us, welcome again to Property Zone Live, brought to you exclusively by IQI. All right, IQI is a global real estate agency, and we have won numerous awards. So, for those of you that just came in, here's an angpao for today. Okay, for us, Chinese New Year is still ongoing. So, what you need to do in order to win this today would be, first, like IQI Global. Go to IQI Global, click like. What you can do, secondly, is comment. Take a guess how much the amount here. Third, share this live video, and then the correct winner will win an angpao. All right, angpao you'll never have enough, right? Okay, let's go on to the second speaker, Sean. Welcome back, Sean, again. Sean has been very influential as well. So, Sean, my question to you is government policies, all right? How has government policies that has been implemented so far that will have impact in the property outlook for 2019? Can you share with us as well as the readers on this issue?
Yeah, thank you, Paul. I think if you are a property investor or you're looking to buy a house, I'm sure you are following closely to a lot of government policy that might have an impact or effects on property. Okay, MOT waiver, just like what Chang has shared, plays a great impact. I also want to pick another three that I would like to share with you today that would also have indirect, direct, short-term and long-term impact. Okay, the first one I want to share with you is about the reduced plot ratio, then followed by a voluntary income disclosure program. A lot of you may have heard it in the budget, but you may not know how it's going to impact the property market. The third I'm going to share with you will be the extension of the RPGT holding period. Now let's come back to the plot ratio. If you are following the news, recent news, this not too long ago, DBKR have made an announcement that they want to cap future projects onwards at the plot ratio of 1 to 10. Now what is plot ratio first? Plot ratio basically determines that if, I'll just give you an example to illustrate this. Okay? If you own a piece of land has a land area of 10,000 square feet, if you have a plot ratio of 1 to 5, that means you can actually build a 50,000 build-up area building on this piece of land. Of course, if you can get a higher plot ratio, the more valuable the land is. Okay? There are some developers have previously submitted and get the approval for their project in KL with the approved plot ratio above 1 to 10. There are some of them are 1 to 12, 1 to 14. But many of them need to resubmit their application, and the plot ratio will be reduced and cap it at 1 to 10. Now what does it mean? It means that developers on the same land size, they will be only able to build lesser unit. So when it comes into implementation, this policy will have two impacts from my point of view. The first one, you will have less willing developer to develop future projects in KL territory. Basic economics, when supplies come down, if everything remains constant, it will drive the price up. That's the first thing. Now the second thing, I talk about less willing, but there are still remaining developers will proceed with their project in KL. But just imagine this, you are the developer, you are a business entity. If previously you can build 6,000 units with the approved plot ratio, but now with the cap of 1 to 10, you can only build, let's say, 500 units. So in other words, your total transaction value will be affected, and your business margin will be reduced as well. So as a business entity, it's almost automatically that what we will do is you will increase the price per square feet for the remaining 500 units that you're going to build. It's very simple. So now, with these two factors, less supply, increased construction or production costs, so that will have an impact to pull the property price up in the KL territory in the next few years. That's the first one I want to share with the plot ratio. And then second thing, a lot of people may have heard it.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. The plot ratio reduction, does it apply to the whole Malaysia or only in certain areas?
At this moment, because the announcement is made by DBKL, so it's under KL territory.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Selangor all is still...
At the moment, they are not affected.
Okay.
So the second one I want to mention to you would be the voluntary income disclosure program. It's actually announced in the budget. And just let me refresh some of you the memory is that actually until end of this month, today is already March, so until 31st of March, if you have forgotten to declare your income fully in the previously, so the government have given you an opportunity to declare whatever undeclared incomes, and then the government is going to impose a 10% penalty. And the 10% is perceived very low because if the penalty applied to undeclared income, it could be 200% to 300%. So what it means that it's giving a chance for people to have a chance to come clean per se, to declare the undeclared income previously. So I give you an example. If a person have an undeclared income of 1 million towards the previous year accumulated, if now he come clean to declare the 1 million. So he paid 100,000 to the government. So remaining 900,000, it become a usable money per se. So I think most of you will know that money has no value if it doesn't move. Money, once it moves, it will have multiplying effect on the economy. So what it means that if the government take hold of the 100,000 out of the 1 million, it actually brings money into the government coffer. It strengthens the Malaysian government financial position. That's one thing. Second thing, for the person who suddenly have the 900,000 usable money, they most likely they will find a way to make up the 10% they have paid to the government, because this is very simple business mind. So the 9,000 most likely they will do two things. First, they're going to invest in the business they have. Once they invest in the business start expanding, economy start moving. So overall, from a macroeconomic point of view, it is a big positive news. Okay? So second thing, investment. So out of the most investment class that we have, one of the most common one will be a property, because property, as you see, is the most stable that you can get capital appreciation and rental yield. That's why if you invest in property, you can actually get up to 90% loan from the bank. The rest, if you want to invest in stock, unit trust, I think you won't be able to get this kind of leverage. So another news I want to share, because this is still new, but if you have taken an example from Indonesia, our neighboring country, Indonesia have actually announced the similar policy back in 2017. So during the 2017, they have this amnesty disclosure program similar to this. So they want to drive all the fund that has been parked overseas back to Indonesia to drive the economy. All right? So although they say the result is below target, but I just want to give you some figures. That program have brought in USD 365 billion. USD 365 billion. And this amount constitute 40% of Indonesia 1 year GDP. Can you imagine the impact? So, although we have not seen the final impact on Malaysian show, but we have taken the example, we're taking a leaf from what's been done in Indonesia. So I think this is something, it's not directly impacting, but it has a great indirect impact on the Malaysian property. You should not miss out to that. Okay? The third one I want to share, anything you want to...
Nothing. I mean, it's actually quite interesting to hear that.
Yes.
Because that's something that many of us, or some of the viewers, they think that maybe certain money that you never pay tax, you're probably you get penalized. So if I'm not mistaken, income tax in Malaysia is about 28% maximum. 27,
I think individual is about 24, 25.
Yeah. So 10% as a penalty, I think it's pretty good deal. Yeah. So if the viewers out there forget to pay your income tax, best I think is to declare it, and then when you have that usable money, I think you can leverage it out, in your business as well as properties, any investment vehicle. So on a safer investment vehicle would be, like what Sean says, property. Yeah. So that's a very important point. And you have another point that...
The another point I want to share with the audience today is, I'm not sure most people are familiar with RBGT. So recently they made an announcement that even as a property owner, if you invest more than 5 years, you still have to pay the 5%. Assuming that you bought a property after year 2000. I'm a property owner. If I heard about this news, it actually, I wasn't very happy, I know, but there's not so much I can do. But at the same time, I think most people will feel that this policy is dampening the property market sentiment. I agree to that. But if you look at another side of the story is that if I own a property today that I have purchased more than 5 years ago, right? By right, I don't have to pay the RPGT anymore after the 5 years. But now because of the extension, I still have to pay the 5% of my profit if I sell at certain prices later. So if I'm owning a property in a good location, has good appreciation chances, and I'm in the positions to hold the property. So until the time when the market sentiment improve, and I want to sell the property, very simple. I will just add the 5% I'm supposed to pay the government into my selling price. And all my fellow property owner most likely will be doing the same thing. So in this case, it will have an impact to increase the property prices just because the property owner, property seller has actually calculated the 5% RPGT into their future selling prices.
So they're factoring.
Yes, they are factoring.
So technically, what happened is if I'm supposed to sell 1 ringgit, yeah, and then I have to pay 50 cent tax. So usually, what the sellers, some sellers would think of is, I will channel this cost to the buyer, right? So, and this will have multiplier effect to the market. Am I right to say that?
Yes,
Sean?
yes.
Okay, very interesting. So these are the 3 government policies that has some effects in the property market for 2018.
2019.
Sorry, 2019. I'm still thinking of 2018. I don't know why. Yeah? Okay, let's move on to Edwin. Yeah. Edwin, I have a question for you. As I've heard from the banks, okay, there are some little warnings from the bank regarding multiple submission. Yeah. Some of the loopholes as a property investors in Malaysia's market is one person you can actually buy a couple of properties if you're a property investor, and then to have a couple of banks to approve. So with a new warning, you know, by sometime this year, how multiple submissions, this kind of warning will affect the investors as well as those that just heard about multiple submission. How would it have implication to the property market as well as to them?
Thank you very much, Paul. If you are a property investor or you are looking into buying your first home, I believe you will be very sensitive to this issue about multiple submission. So with this, I'll share with you 3 major things. First thing, of course, will be what really is multiple submission, or some people would rather say it as compression loan, right? And second thing is about this multiple submission, how does this multiple submission affected the property market, right? And finally, will be I will address about the issue on the Bank Negara warning on restricting people getting multiple submission, right? So basically what multiple submission really is, or some people call it as compressed loan, right? So basically multiple submission means that if today you buy a property, usually what we do is we will submit it to multiple different banks simultaneously, okay? For the reason is...
How many properties I have to buy in order to submit to different banks?
In this case, actually, generally, some people just buy one property to submit to multiple different banks for the reason of comparing the interest rate.
Yeah, that's pretty standard, right?
Yes, pretty standard.
So if I buy a property, I will submit to maybe 3 banks.
Correct.
Yeah, to see whether I can get it approved or just to compare their rates.
The better interest rate.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So that's the gray area where, and it also call it, I mean, we can say that's an open secret, right? Many people know about it, right? So what the investors out there are doing right now is they submit to multiple different banks and multiple different properties to different banks. And the moment the loan approved, and the best part is if they approve 90%, they get all their loans approved 90% and they own 5 properties or up to 10 properties at one go, right? So this will encourage a lot of bulk purchase as well. So for example, if today, if one person could get a loan of 10 loans from 10 different banks, which means he can own 10 different properties, right? Or if let's say this bulk purchase together, and they go and bargain with the developer for better rebates or better discount, they can even get up to 5-10% more than the average people out there, right? So that will lead to my second question. How does this affect the property market? So with more and more bulk purchases coming into the market, first thing, developers will be able to let go their stocks fast and they get cash flow. And when they have cash flow, they'll continue to launch more and more projects. And that is where the oversupply comes in, right? And second thing is with bulk purchasers coming into this type of properties, right? So what they get is they get very much, the pricing that they get is very much below market value, right? And also with the below market value property, right, they are able to rent much lower, or they may be able to let go at a much lower price compared to the average people out there, right? So this will somehow slow down the capital appreciation of project, or even in fact slow down the rental of project.
Because of the influx of supply.
Yes, correct.
So
Yeah.
more supplies, less demand.
Yes, correct. And also because of the pricing, right? They buy at a very much lower price for
Okay.
the bulk purchaser. So this also leads to the third question that I would like to share, which is I think with this multiple submission things going here and there, right? There are more. I mean, with multiple submission, definitely the risk is higher. When the risk is higher, people tends not to able to afford to pay the loans and so on, right? That's where NPL comes in,
Okay.
right? Non-performing loan.
Yep.
And when non-performing loan goes up, the bank will somehow reduces approval rates, right? So so with this cooling measure that the government has implemented, restricting investors getting multiple submission and so on, it will somehow I believe it will reduces the people buying property aggressively, and it will somehow in the long run it will actually definitely help to strengthen the property market. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, before I get to your question, one more question. For those of you that just joined in, so welcome, and please like IQI Global page, all right? If you want to win an ang pao today, there's an ang pao to win, all right? And so far, based on what I've seen, I think a lot of people are putting the same amount. Come on, guys, you have to put different amount, right? This one, there's one amount, but you all cannot answer the same amount, all right? And it's not that easy. So what you need to do to win this, all right, would be just go to IQI Global, like our page, share this video out to your Facebook page feed, and then also comment, please comment, or please take a guess how much is in. If I would do, I wish I can show you, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that, all right? So, okay. And I noticed today, moving forward, sometimes I would love to take some questions from the viewers as well. Yeah, that would be nice, because I can ask questions, but sometimes the viewers out there, if you guys have some questions for us, type it in the comment below, all right? Let us know what kind of topics or what kind of questions you have, and then hopefully in the future we can actually gather the topics together, and then we can share it with you guys, because the whole purpose of this whole video, this Property Zone Live is to empower the viewers to share the knowledge that we have. Sometimes it's difficult. Property can be from, you need to know about law, you need to know about loan, you need to know about properties. It's such a huge, huge thing to learn. So we hope to share things with you. And if you can just, key in what are the topics, the key areas that you guys have on certain questions, we'll be gladly to cover it in the next session. All right? Okay. So Edwin, or anyone can answer this, yeah? So I'll open the questions to any one of you all. Say because the property gurus out there, how to be financially free, tells you that you have to keep buying property. Sometimes you ask yourself, or maybe the viewers will ask, how many properties in their lifetime that they actually need? Okay, that's not an easy question. I would say there's no right or wrong answer as well. But in terms of I want to invest, I want to achieve my financial freedom. If I can't do multiple submission anymore, is there any other legal way that I can follow and yet still get more than 1 unit? I mean, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we have to say, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. But what if I want to do it? I don't want to take multiple submission. I do not want to break the law. I do not want to go against the bank's policy. But is there a way, whoever is thinking, I want to buy 2 properties this year, or 3 properties this year, or within the 2 years, how can they do it? Is it by having another partner coming in? Is it by starting a company? I mean, we're not going to go into that specific topic too in depth, but maybe just an idea of what can someone do.
Maybe I just take on a question first. Then, if anything I miss out, maybe Shan or Edwin can help me to fit. I think those who buy multiple units using compression loan methods, they are actually want to get the money in the shortest time frame as possible. It's very different from having a retirement goal in mind. These are 2 different goals. In fact, I do a rough calculation. Everybody's lifestyle is different. You may need 4 million. I will maybe only need 2 million to retire. Right? Everybody's lifestyle is different. So come back to the starting point. But if I'm looking at it this way, if I buy a $1 million price tag property in a good location, huge capital appreciation opportunity. You have to think about it. Throughout the next 15, 20 years, I actually have done 2 things. What have I done? Because property, a lot of people don't realize, is actually a forced saving method. We always learn about whatever you earn, you either save and invest, then only you spend. Monthly installment, all the banks, if you take a loan, will be auto debit, right? So it ultimately become a forced saving element towards working your financial planning in the long term. So by having this forced saving, your outstanding loan amount reduces as the time goes. Secondly, your property appreciate along the way. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is if you feel that you need to acquire more property, there's no second route. You need to improve your value to society. You need to sharpening your tools, your skill, your mind, invest in yourself, make sure you become more valuable in your business, in your employment. Ultimately, financially you'll be rewarded more, and you can actually getting more loan, acquiring more property in the long run. The best thing to invest are between your ears, which is your brain, which is yourself. Okay?
Totally agree with Sean. I personally believe that, like what Sean said, everyone's lifestyle is different. So how many properties that you need to earn or to own in your life, I believe is very subjective. But I personally believe that multiple submission is good if you do it in the right way. All right. If you have taken calculated risks, because property is always about holding power. The longer you can hold, in the long run, you will always win, right? Because property always goes back to the fundamental about why property always increases, because it goes back to fundamental is about scarcity of land, right? And also supply and demand. So basically, on the long run, property is still a very good tool to invest, but invest it with calculated risk. Yeah, that's my point of view.
I mean, property has always been a good thing to invest since like generations. Yes, a long generation. It's land, because we are investing, we are owning the land as well as the property. So, Sean, you have any comments for us or any point of view?
Yeah, like what Sean and Edwin said is true, and it always comes to the individual, like they said, how much property they want to own and everything, and the affordability as well. So the more they invest, the more they make money.
So the more you invest, the more you make money, yeah? But do invest. I think the key point here is invest, but calculate your risk.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
If you can't afford the monthly installment, don't.
Correct.
Am I right to say that?
Yes.
Yeah. Because we do not want you to have sleepless night. It's not fun thinking that next month you have to pay the installment, the banks are chasing you, and then you go into NPL probably go into bankruptcy, which we hope that no one has to go through that situation. Yeah. Before that, come on, the figures are almost the same. You know, 138, 168, 188, 155, 888. Wow, that's yeah, right. Okay. There's one question, yeah, but for those that just join us, go to IQI Global, our Facebook page, click on like, in order to win this ang pao. We still have an ang pao, last ang pao for 2019, or maybe the first ang pao in 2020, yeah? All right. So what you have to do to win this ang pao, there's some amount inside, all right? And what you have to do is take a guess. But before you take a guess, like our page, IQI Global, all right? Share this video, this live video out, and then please comment in the comment button what is the amount you think there is inside, okay? At the end of this session, one lucky winner will win this ang pao, all right? Then you can treat us if you want. Okay, just now we've been taking questions from the floor, right? We've been asking them, and Heng Chui Hong, Henry, we have discussed the HOC affect Malaysia properties market in 2019, and he's asking, is it the right time to buy now in 2019? Is it the right time? A lot of people think, is it the best time to buy when the market is hot, or is it the best time to buy when the market is soft? So, is it the right time?
Yes. If you ask me this, it depends on the people when they want to buy. If they don't want to buy now, they know after 5 years it's good, or before 5 years is always 5 years back it's good to invest. But if it's not now, then when, right? So why I say this is a good to buy now in 2019, because if you ask me, this is buyer's market, not seller's market. So when it's become a buyer's market, this is where the buyers have to go in to buy more property. Yeah. So when the
Buy as many as you can.
yes, when the market is good, then it becomes seller's market. So you need to consider on that as well.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this property cycle is always a cycle,
Yes.
right? It will never stay, correct me if I'm wrong, it will never stay constant where it's a buyer's market and seller's market in a well-balanced way. It will always be up, then suddenly it will go down, and I think to catch the right opportunity is always towards that equilibrium,
Correct.
right? And is it the right time to buy, Sean?
To answer the question, maybe I divide into two parts. If you're buying for own stay, if you can afford it, it's the best time to buy. The earliest you start, the better. And it comes to investment, maybe I share with you one example I witnessed through my own eyes. I think some of you may still have a memory of 2008 subprime. Subprime started from US and it hit Malaysia shore in a very short but very deep period. During the time middle of 2008 until end of 2019, developers are trying very hard, giving a lot of freebies, rebates to push their units. Okay? One of the things they have got is the bungalow that I've seen is at that time was selling at 1.5. And the developer even come out with, if you purchase the unit, not only during the construction period you don't have to pay anything, even upon completion, the developer will pay for your installment for 2 years. So that will reflect how bad the market was. Developer is only doing this when the sentiment is bad, it's very negative. But fast forward a few years' time, when the market recovers in the year of 2011, the property already appreciated close to 2 million. And the guy was still, the owner who bought the house, is sitting comfortably in his living room, checking his TV, and without worrying about his monthly installment, because the developer is still paying. So that sometimes in investment, we have to see beyond sentiment. You must have the vision and the forward thinking to see beyond what is going on now. Because you will know that when the sentiment is bad, less development is being developed, it means supply is getting lesser a few years down the road. Property is not roti. You can't make property overnight. You don't build today, you don't have an end product 3-4 years later. It applies to anywhere in the world.
It's not Lego.
Yeah.
We wish it was a Lego. But unfortunately, like what Sean says, property takes a lot of planning, a lot of planning with the government, with the architects, with the builders, with the design. It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, to think about it, 4 years development, that's like what, 365 days times 4. I don't know how many days are that. Okay. Okay, so one thing I would wish to see is also hoping that the time zone for Property Zone Live, if you guys have any comment on, any suggestion on how to make this live much more interactive. It's quite interactive now, yeah. What I would say is the timing, because live zone, it's 2 o'clock, right? And maybe 2 o'clock, majority of the viewers there who wants to watch live, 2 o'clock, where are they? They are working, right? So if you guys have any good time recommendation for Thursday, whether is it like 12, the lunchtime, night time, probably lunchtime, if you guys have any comment, please comment, please give us the info. Just key in down here, and then we will look into your comments and consider the timing if there's any need to change the time. All right. So moving back, those who has shared, like our IQI Global Facebook page, as well as take a guess of how much the amount of money that there's in here. You guys are one of the lucky winners supposed to walk away with this ang pao. All right. Can we have someone to check on the winners? So before we close, we have another 10 minutes. Before we close, so it's the best time to buy, right? Should we buy more? I mean, are you guys buying anything this year?
Maybe I'll share something a bit about this.
Yeah.
I believe a lot of people are asking, is it the best time to buy now? But many people right now has the expectation, because for the past 5-6 years, right, property market has been shooting up so fast, and for the past 1 to 2 years, property market has been quite stagnant, right? So a lot of people have this expectation when they buy a property, like over 1-2 years, they can double the property price, which definitely is not going to happen in the next few years, right? So, but if you ask me, I believe it's a lot about mindset. Okay, if you have the right mindset for property investment, in the long run you will always win, as long as you have the right mindset and also the calculated risk. So, like people always say, when is the best time? There's no best time to buy property. Yesterday is the best time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the next? But you cannot go back to the past, right?
Correct.
You need the best choice is now, right? And looking back with the property market pretty soft right now, I believe it's good to enter the market when it is low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best time is always yesterday, if not today. Right? Okay, so before we close, do we have the lucky winner? I'm looking, lucky winners. Who will be the lucky winner? Alright, so we have the answer. The lucky winner is Annie Lim. Her figure is 198. Okay, so this is close. Sorry, I think, hold on. The figure here is 201. Okay, so the closest person that is closest to 201 is I think it's this guy, right? JB. JB Property Fan. Congratulations, you have won this ang pao. But be sure that we will check that you have liked IQI Global page and you have also shared this live video, and this will be yours.
You want to open and show them?
Huh?
Cannot.
This is for JB Fan, yeah, JB Property Fan. So thank you guys so
Thank
much
you.
for spending your time here. Thank you the viewers for spending your time to watch this live video. You know, this is going to be recorded in Facebook as well as probably YouTube. So whenever you have comments, give us your suggestions. If you have any questions or any time zone, time of the day that you want us to have this live, please comment. We will check the comments, each and every one of the comments. Okay. So thank you so much for having us. My name is Paul Go.
My name is Shan. Thank you.
Sean here.
I'm Edwin here.
Thank you for joining us in Property Zone Live. See you next time. Bye.